What is up, y'all? It's your girl, Brand New, and honey, I am back in the building. This time, honey, I'm back for a recap of Real Housewives of Atlanta. This is for season 15. I will have the episode number in the description. So let's get off into it, honey. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe and share this here video. I'd appreciate it. All right, let me say this before we get off into this recap. From what I see on the next episode, it looks like there is this continued division amongst this group. We have KANDI, we got Candiace, and MONYETTA. They are all a group, okay, a friend group. And then we have SANYA, Sheree, and Marlo, okay, as the other friend group. Okay, so, like, SANYA told no lies when she said that I feel like we are being left out. Because once again, we have, an event for Kenya. And y'all know how Kenya get to act as special, honey, when it's her event. She love making people feel left out. She love making sure you ain't got no damn food to eat. Y'all remember the one trip she planned where she was only fed real good and then the rest of them had crumbs and barely had any options for what they wanted to eat. So, like, I'm still seeing those dynamics and I'm getting sick of it. Carlos King then called these heifers out. I will be doing a video on that most definitely. Because he told no lies. All they keep doing, especially Kenya, is she keeps living vicariously through other people's storylines. Now, granted, we all are sick of this situation with her and Mark, but still, you should have some type of storyline of, like, what's going on, behind the scenes, and, like, what is he asking for now? Carlos King, honey, said the man want alimony. I'm like, bitch, alimony? See, that's your storyline. That's a good one. Okay, I would want to hear more about that. But that is why, you guys, this show is not likable like it once was. Like, I used to love Real Housewives of Atlanta. I worshipped this show. Like, even my mother, and y'all know she's not in my life anymore, she knew, like, how much I love Real Housewives of Atlanta, and I always had it taped, honey, but it's just not the same show anymore. It's just getting predictable, and it's just like everybody has the same, like, storyline. It's like, well, let me, jump on this whole situation with Martel and Sheree, and it's just convenient, it's predictable, and honey, Miss Robinson is not here for it, okay? But anyways, honey, that is that. That's how I feel about that. MONYETTA, real quick, you whack as hell to me. You are whack. You are KANDI's friend. And to me, your position is only to be KANDI's friend. You don't know how to be objective. You don't know how to be neutral. We go get to it, but you piss me off. Anyways, the episode starts out with Sheree, Marlo, and SANYA. They get together talking about their experience at BravoCon and how Mama Joyce clowned TODD and couldn't say nice things about him. SANYA talks about her and Drew and their interaction at BravoCon, and Drew said to her, "Did I give you a hard time, or did you pull a hard time from me?" SANYA says when she left the reunion, there was a lot of things unresolved with her and Drew. I guess Drew invited SANYA out before BravoCon and then flipped the script on her once she got on stage. Drew, that's not right. You and Sanya have had a lot of back and forth at this point on this show, and I think it's just fair to say that you all just don't like each other. Sanya, you kind of flipped the script on Drew and would be nice to her, it seemed like, when you all were alone, and Drew would come and help you out, you know, with emergencies. I think you had like a car accident. She was there for you. And then you got in front of these girls and act like you didn't know her, didn't like her like that, and, you know, put her out on Front Street. But Drew, you haven't been innocent either, okay? You had this whole merch line with Ralph over, what, Sanya inviting you, then uninviting you. That was petty. You made a coin, but it was just petty. It was stupid. And y'all just don't like each other. And guess what? It's okay. Okay? If y'all gonna be this inconsistent with each other, honey, don't even be friends, honey. Okay? Sheree talks to Sanya and Marlo about how she met up with Kenya to talk about how Kenya disrespected Martel. Sheree says that Kenya didn't take any accountability for how she treated Martel. Kenya does need to take accountability for her behavior with people, especially men. In this situation with Martel, Martel is an asshole. Okay, he's an asshole. And like I said, I was more or less with Kenya when it came to this Martel situation. But Kenya also needs to not play this perpetual victim when she's in conflict with black men. She can't make it into a, yeah, they are abusive. They all are disrespectful. They all are aggressive. Like, you can't act like that. And Kenya does have a way of acting like that with some black men. I didn't feel like she was doing that with Martel. I watched another review and the person was talking about Kenya and how she's always throwing in Sheree's face, you know, what some man did to her, like what Big Bob put her through, and he was abusive. And, you know, the person felt like Kenya was trying to make fun of Sheree's past with Bob. And I don't feel like Kenya was trying to make fun of Sheree's past with Bob, especially that season 8 clip that they showed. I think she was trying to remind Sheree, you don't have the best choices. You don't make the best choices in men. Look at how Bob treated you. Sheree, you was back that season with Bob to rekindle what? Like, what the hell are you gonna rekindle after a man has strangled you? So you was a damn fool then, you a damn fool now. And I think that's what Kenya was trying to say. Okay, honestly. But I don't feel like Kenya is trying to, like, you know, trigger Sheree and throw, because Kenya technically can't say nothing about no bad relationship. She done made some bad decisions herself, but Sheree is worse than Kenya, okay? I will say that. Sheree says it's important for her friends to respect Martel. None of the arrogance and cockiness that she's seen on his show is within their relationship. Like, he doesn't treat her like that. And I'm like, Sheree, you are a damn fool. Why would you even date Martel after watching how badly he treated his ex-wife Melody? Like, why do you think you are special? And I feel like Sheree is like a lot of women, because women are competitive and comparative by nature, right? Yeah, I look better than her. Yeah, girl, my pussy better than her. Yeah, girl, I make more money than her. You know how women, you know, can get down. And men engage in this too. But, you know, I'm just saying, right? Women do that, right? But Sheree, you are a damn fool. for trying to act like Martel has totally changed his ways and he's an angel with you and he was a devil to his ex-wife. Like the way he treated her and even the way he still treats her now, it's deplorable, it's disgusting. And you should be ashamed of yourself at your big age for even entertaining a man that has treated another woman the way in which he did. Like it's really triggering to see her on this show talking like so nice about Martel. He's trash. Sheree also gets to talking about how Martel picked her up from the airport and like made it into this real big deal. Like, see, even Marlo was like, see, he's a good man, Savannah. No, he ain't shit. That's the equivalent of him taking her to a store. Like, that ain't shit. Okay, the only way to prove a man's character is about something is just letting time play out, just letting the time go by, and he will show you who he is by then. So, but Sheree and Martel are not in a real relationship, so it's just, some bullshiggity honey they are doing for this here struggling show. Okay, that's all it is. Next, we see Drew and Ralph. They go rock climbing. Drew breaks her nail and then like tumbles down the wall, and Ralph is yelling out to her, you got to be careful with how, you come down. Drew accuses Ralph of not promoting her song. Ralph says he did all he could do for the song and he needs to get back to his business. Drew, why are you mixing your business with Ralph? Like, why? Like, I feel like if you're going to be a singer, you've always been a singer. That's what you was kind of known for on the game. Like, we didn't really know who you was as an artist. You was playing a character, but hell, you use your real name, Drew Sidora. So you've always been affiliated with music. Why do you need to mix that with Ralph? Like, I feel like that was such a bad move, and y'all relationship is too unstable for y'all to be doing business together. Like, it's the same thing with Contessa and Scott and them like opening up that business together. I was like, girl, you are a damn fool. I don't know what's wrong with some of y'all women, honey. You go learn. Okay, but yeah, I just feel like, girl, don't look for him to promote your song. Like, you are really gonna have to champion for you. You are with a narcissist. They are all about themselves. Y'all saw how when he was talking to her, he got right back to himself and what he need to do for him and how he's so busy with what he got going on. Okay, so, girl, bye. Ralph talked about BravoCon and how the fans asked him to gaslight them. And I'm just like, that is like not even funny. You all have a unhealthy, toxic marriage. And like, that wasn't a joke. People are not laughing with you. They are laughing at you. Okay, Ralph and Drew. Okay, that's for both of y'all. We also see that Candiace, shout out to my girl Candiace, honey. I love me some Candiace, honey. I love that singing voice. Okay, just a mini Toni Braxton. She invites Drew to perform with her on stage. She's going to be performing, in ATL. And I guess it's, one of the popular spots that, artists perform at. So she invited Drew to do that. I guess Shamari DeVoe canceled on her, and Shamari could sing her butt off too. Drew then calls KANDI to invite her to come to this performance she's going to be doing with Candiace. So she calls up all the girls now, and then she calls up KANDI. And by this time, Courtney and her baby daddy, they are at Drew and Ralph's house. And Drew tries to get Kandi to say hello to Courtney and Courtney to say hello to each other, honey, on the FaceTime. I'm looking like when Courtney told you she was going to go and chat with the guys, like that was her telling you, Drew, she don't want to talk to Kandi. They've been into it. Ralph told you they was into it too. So I didn't get that. I didn't get why she was trying to have them speak. Even Kandi was on the FaceTime like, girl, I'm not speaking to her. You know, she's messy. She been talking bullshiggity about me. Drew was like, oh, I didn't know it was that deep. I didn't expect for Kandi to still be mad. Girl, this is Kandi. Okay, and like Marlo said, unless you are some food or a man, Kandi can hold a grudge. Okay, shit, like especially when it comes to women. Okay, look at Phaedra. Phaedra never came back to this show. Okay, that damn Kandi got to Portia's wedding. Okay, wasn't that interesting how that was on Candi's to-do list? Okay, I wouldn't have, like, girl, you was over there talking to Fallon and, like, I don't know, she seemed like, maybe that was Kenya that seemed like she was, like, more on Fallon's team. But I believe I heard Todd and Kandi speaking out about Portia and how she got with Simon. So that's just interesting that Kandi found the time, you know, to go to her wedding. Next, we see Kenya yelling at someone on her team about a picture. She then calls MONYETTA to see if she could help with a surprise performance geared towards HBCUs. We learned that MONYETTA is like a choreographer. Honey, Miss Robinson used to be a choreographer. Okay, yes. We also have Kandi and Don. They go over Candi's to-do list. Kandi says she wants to participate as an executive producer on Todd's film. But in my opinion, you guys, it sounds like she doesn't even want to do it. It just sounds like just one more thing for her to do. Don Juan pushes Kandi and tells her to be a team player when it comes to Todd's projects because he's always a team player when it comes to your projects. And I agree with him when it comes to that. MONYETTA comes in to visit. Kandi begins talking about how she's working towards her EGOT. I heard recently she has been like nominated for a Tony, I believe. So she said the plays that she's did on Broadway have did really well. So that's really good. MONYETTA asked Kandi how it went at BravoCon. And Kandi and Don Juan said that a lot of BS happened because of how Mama Joyce was answering questions about Todd. Kandi says she left BravoCon and has not spoken to her mother since. All I have to say is we are still with this same storyline of how Mama Joyce don't like Todd. And you love exploiting this, Kandi, but when it comes to them restaurants, honey, like Marlo said, you quiet. You don't want to talk about what's really going on. And, well, stuff is under investigation. Okay, I call bullshiggity. Okay, I feel like Marlo is correct. Kandi likes to pick and choose, you know, what she discussed. I told y'all a long time ago, if you've been following me, that Kandi should have been cut off Mama Joyce. But Kandi is one of those women that feels like your mother is your mother forever, and it doesn't matter how disrespectful she acts towards your husband. She can say and do anything to him as long as she apologizes. And, you know, she's going to keep her mother in her life. Because I told y'all, if it were me, Mama would have been gone a long time ago. You cannot sit up and disrespect your daughter's husband. But because Kandi has allowed it throughout, the time she's been with Todd. She allowed Mama Joyce to dog out AJ too. Do you see what I'm saying? She's always allowed this type of behavior and then tries to, play shocked, or appalled that Mama Joyce is speaking this way about Todd. Like, you never did nothing about the situation. You always put a Band-Aid on it and you go on. And no, it's time for some serious distance from your mother. She shouldn't have even been at BravoCon, because if she can't say anything nice about your husband by now, should she even be there? See, that's your problem. You keep buying this lady houses and cars, and she gets to come to work with you. She keeps being rewarded for the bad behavior. So why should she change, Kandi? Okay, make it make sense. Kandi says it was Kayla that sent the video to Todd of Mama Joyce dissing him. They show Todd, he seems aggravated by everything, her mom is saying. He seems hurt. I don't know, you guys. Y'all put y'all comments in the comment section. I don't really feel like Kandi, really cares how Mama Joyce's comments make Todd feel. I think she depends on this for a storyline, and she could use this. I'm sure Carlos King probably, mentioned this somewhere too. Because, yeah, he was producing those seasons. When Mama Joyce and Todd was at it, them seasons, season 6 and 7, those was the most popular seasons of Real Housewives of Atlanta. So Carlos know all about, what Kandi is doing, honey. Drew tells Courtney about her drama with SANYA and how SANYA acts like she doesn't want to be her friend when the group is around, but, behind closed doors, when it's just her, she acts like she wants to be her friend. Like I said before, Drew and SANYA don't need to be friends because they don't like each other. And I really see it more from SANYA. Like, SANYA really has a disdain for Drew. I also feel like all the girls, for the most part, they really see Drew as this actress. Like, it came out at the end with Marlo. She accused Drew of acting. We're going to get to that, though. We see a scene with Marlo and the boys. They say therapy is helping her. They see that she's making an effort. We see Candiace doing a sound check. Drew joins her and they hug and talk. Next, we see MONYETTA, KANDI, Kenya, and SANYA. All of them are sitting at the table, not talking to Marlo. Marlo goes to the bathroom. SANYA asks the girls, well, why y'all not speaking to Marlo? We already know Kandi stay mad at people forever, honey, unless it's a man or some food, honey, okay? MONYETTA says that Marlo talked ish about her when they were in Jamaica, and I call bullshit MONYETTA. She was nice when it came to you, sweetie. Okay, Marlo has gotten filthy with the girls, and I don't feel like that was one of the times where Marlo was really nasty. I feel like MONYETTA, what Marlo said was true, and people don't want to hear the truth, you guys. Especially if it comes from Marlo. If it comes from Kenya, a fan favorite, then y'all will bow y'all head and yes, and yeah, y'all agree with it. But Marlo spoke a word. She spoke a truth. You are all up Candi's ass. This whole scene with you getting angry and you confronted Marlo later, it was stupid to me. I didn't understand, MONYETTA, why you was so upset. Okay? Because yeah, you took the time out to hear what Marlo had to say, but Kandi was still upset with you because Kandi feels like just because you are her friend, you supposed to take up for everything she says and does, and you prove that in this scene. And you accuse Marlo, let's just talk about it now, talking behind your back. That wasn't nothing. Y'all all talk behind each other's backs. Welcome to Real Housewives of Atlanta, bitch. This is what they do. And that was very, like, minor. That was light shade coming from Marlo. But it's true. You are up Kandi's ass. You don't have a brain of your own. You want to be mad with Marlo now just because Kandi is. Everything is because of Kandi. And like, child, I'm over it. Like, if you go behave like this, you can go, MONYETTA. Like, for real. I don't like people that be all up other people's ass. And then when people was up Nene's ass, y'all wanted to call the shit out. Okay, y'all wanted to call that out, but y'all want to call this out. Let's move on. Courtney joins the girls at the table. Sheree is sick and can't make it. Candiace looked beautiful on stage. She sounded good. Drew joined her and they did really well singing together. But it was only for a hot little minute and the girls was disappointed. The girls wanted more from Drew. Ralph brought Drew flowers, and I'm looking at him like, oh, once again, honey, you love bombing your wife, honey, okay? Love bombing. That's what that is, like acting like he really gives a damn about your performance, acting like he really wishes you well. Okay, that's what love bombing is, playing a role, okay? Chris Bassett and Ralph, they hang out after the performance. I thought that was cool. I love Chris Bassett. Shout out to him. He is a wonderful husband of the Real Housewives franchise. He is like one of my favorite, very down to earth, very cool, very supportive of his wife. He's not trying to tear her down, put her in lowest terms and tear her into millions of pieces. Okay, like the niggas over there at Bell Collective and Love and Marriage Huntsville. But honey, you ain't heard it. You didn't hear that from Miss Robinson. SANYA congratulated Drew on her performance. She confronts her about what happened at BravoCon. Drew had dropped merch on the whole she invited me and uninvited me thing. She apologized to SANYA. They hug it out and agree to move forward. KANDI confronts Courtney about her comments on KANDI bringing the ghetto and hood to the place that they were at. Courtney said she was born in the hood and her family is hood. I didn't like all that, Courtney. I felt like you was being fake, and I feel like KANDI saw right through what you was trying to do, and so did Kenya. That's why Kenya called you out. She felt like you were trying to light a match, start like some more shit up, and you was, but you were playing with them. You were acting like, oh, ain't nothing wrong with being ghetto, ain't nothing wrong with being hood, when, girl, like, say what you mean, stand on what you said. You really feel like KANDI is hood. She brings the ghetto with her. Like, stand by what you said. And Courtney is annoying because she's one of those people that really feel like, I don't know, like Courtney feels like she's real. She's keeping it real, but no, girl, you're keeping it real fake. And we see right through you. You are a friend of Sheree, honey. That in itself speaks, speaks for itself, honey, okay? Courtney did say ghetto people did come to where we were at, so she, repeated that, but you still full of bullshiggity. Drew mentions the incident at Blaze. Marlo says to Drew, what incident? KANDI said everything is fine. It's a private matter. Marlo said, what, the shooting? I'm so glad Marlo said that the way she did. Marlo says she's going home. She feels like the group chooses to sweep Candi's bullshiggity under the rug, which they do, because everybody was getting ready to just let it go, including you, Drew. Okay, and I'm with Marlo. Call all that shit out. It's not like Kandi and Todd told anybody to come up there and start shooting. No, but that is something real, and this is a reality TV show. And you should share that on the show, but Kandi is about her business and she doesn't want to put that negative press out there. But Kandi, at the same time, you can't be putting everybody else's BS out there as well. So monkey see, monkey do. And I'm so glad Marlo called her ass out. Kandi, with her passive aggressive ass, she's a low down gutter snipe, okay? Because she said to Marlo, no, how about we talk about that girl's face that you cut? See, that's that shit. That's why she's coming at you, Kandi. Okay, because of shit like that. Y'all can't keep throwing up this girl's past about her being in prison, dating old men, cutting people faces up, and then she can't say shit about y'all. Like, no, she gonna come for you every time. Team Marlo, baby. I love Marlo. The ladies end up leaving and production wrapped for that day. And then we have this scene with Marlo and Drew. Marlo accuses Drew of looking for a moment. She feels like Drew doesn't respect her. She gave Kandi respect. Drew, I saw, went to pick up her flowers. Courtney and Ralph, they are like in the background watching. Then Marlo begins talking about how her nephew used to work for Kandi at Old Lady Gang, and he ended up getting murdered, but he didn't get murdered at Old Lady Gang. And this is where I got confused, because Marlo, you know, I rock with you, but I don't like how you were conflating issues. Your nephew did not get murdered at Old Lady Gang. A roommate murdered him. So it didn't happen at Old Lady Gang. So there's no affiliation with Kandi and your nephew being murdered. Like, Kandi had nothing to do with that. So then Marlo begins talking about how she reached out to Kandi to tell her about it. And Kandi was like, wow, I'm shocked, you know, that happened. And I guess Marlo tried to talk to Kandi about it a little bit later after it occurred. And she accused Kandi of acting as if she didn't know what she was talking about. Marlo, you're reaching. You are reaching, and you doing all of this is what the girl's problem is with you. You conflate issues. Kandi has nothing to do with your nephew being murdered. The only way Kandi would be affiliated with your nephew being murdered is if he got murdered working at one of her restaurants. Since they are shooting at one of her restaurants, then it would have flowed together, but you were reaching because you pulling this part out. Now you want sympathy from Drew. Marlo yells out to Drew, my nephew is dead, bitch, and walks off. We could hear her calling Drew an actress. Are you performing? Like I said, I think SANYA, Marlo, and Kenya, and Sheree, I think they all feel like Drew is not really being herself. She's being an actress. So I think that part was real and true. And I think we all collectively can look at Drew through that lens, like, yeah, you an actress, but you be acting on here, and really ain't no reason for you to act. We know your marriage is fucked up and unhealthy. I mean, I'm just saying, you know, it is what it is. But I didn't like how Marlo spoke to Drew. I felt like it was unnecessary. You can't force people to have empathy for you or sympathy. I just felt like the whole thing was a reach. I was a bit confused. Like, I didn't know what to think. I had to rewind it several times to be like, oh, okay. So y'all put y'all comments in the comment section about that. And how did you take that? Am I missing something? But yeah, I didn't like how Marlo conflated all of that. I felt like it was unnecessary. And see, that right there is the reason why the girls don't trust or respect Marlo. It was like a perpetuation of that. That's why I was upset she did that, because it's like, bitch, I try to go hard for you in my reviews and I can't, Marlo. You take 2 steps forward to take another 10 back. So anyways, you guys, honey, that's all Miss Robinson got for y'all. Y'all get down in the comments. Let me know what you thought about this here video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I am your girl, brand new, and I will check you guys out in the next video.